New video of President Trump moments before his speech. He told reporters he has full confidence in his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. Let's bring in Matt Schlapp, chair of the Conservative Union, and Michael Meehan, former senior communications advisor for John Kerry's presidential campaign. He's also the president and CEO of Squared Communications. I love it when friends can get together for an afternoon, so I'm glad you're here. Michael, if I could start with you. When you woke up this morning and saw that Democrats were already calling for Attorney General Jeff Sessions to resign, did you think it was a little premature? And does this actually help them back in their own districts if it looks like they're pushing back?
Well, I personally think it's a little premature because I think that whatever Mr. Sessions has to do in his day job as a U.S. Senator, which includes talking to Russian officials, in the Senate for 25 years. That's what U.S. senators are supposed to do on behalf of the people. So I think it's his testimony in the Congress that's one problem, because he said that he didn't do it. But on the other hand, you got Congressman Chavez, who, you know, the head of the House Oversight Committee, thinking that he should recuse himself. So as the chief law enforcement in the land, you know, we should get the facts out. It's unclear to me what exactly the set of facts were, but I do think this country has two dialogues going on at once, and people who don't want to see the Republicans in charge and people who do want to see the Republicans in charge, and the language does get overheated sometimes. Matt,
is this a controversy that you think could go away within, sort of 24 hours as more information comes out? You had Senator McCaskill this morning saying that she was aghast about this apparent, alleged ties between Sessions and the Russian ambassador that had not been disclosed in testimony, but it turns out she had actually met with the ambassador 4 years ago and had forgotten that. Is this something that goes away pretty quickly, or do you think it's an enduring problem that the Trump administration is going to have to keep dealing with even as it tries to accomplish its legislative goals?
I think the role of Russia in the election is now something of legend, and I think we're going to be talking about it, unfortunately, for a long time. That being said, I think this is not just premature, it's premature. And we have people saying that Jeff Sessions should resign. We have people saying we need a special counsel. I mean, the Democrats look a little absurd here. First of all, we've got one political over at the Justice Department, Jeff Sessions. How about confirm the next 3 people who are already over at the Senate? Why don't you allow him to assemble his team? If he decides at that point that he wants to recuse himself, that's his choice to make. And then he can have somebody else who's competent on his team as well to lead that charge. But I mean, the Democrats, they just look so partisan, Dana. And the only thing I would say to the Trump administration is, and you know this from your days in the Bush administration, do not get on defense for doing something that's in your job description. It's in the job description to meet with foreign dignitaries all across the globe.
It's interesting you say that, because there's one issue in particular that I wish I had never, ever been defensive about, because it was something that it was obviously in the president's prerogative, but I can't redo history, but it's something that I keep in mind. Michael, let me ask you about the substance of the president's remarks, because he was talking to a military audience and about the increases that he wants, a $54 billion increase for the military. How hard do you think the Democrats will push back against that in what's going to be a pretty tough legislative session and going into those midterm elections?
Right. Well, you've got a lot of people who are running in 2018 that came to Washington to curb the size of government. So to have a $54 billion enhancement on the military side without setting off a bunch of tax cuts on the other side is a very ambitious infrastructure agenda that's going to be billions, if not trillions of dollars. So the problem is that there's not enough money to go around for all of these things, and Congress is going to have to sort out the priorities. But that is that is a big raise on the biggest military in the world already.
But Matt, do you think it plays politically well for Republicans?
I think that the fact is we're spending one of the lowest percentages of GDP on the military than we have in the last half a century. And we have, under the Obama years, we have allowed our defenses to get weak. And I think it's right for the president to step up and make sure that our veterans are taken care of, make sure that our men and women in uniform are taken care of, and they need the systems to make sure that they can do their job effectively. So I'm for this. I love Democrats when they are saying, oh my God, it's profligate spending. Has anybody been looking and reading about Mick Mulvaney's budget that they were already showcasing? I mean, these are some dramatic cuts in discretionary spending.
It's going to be a fun March. I'm grateful to